Hello students, in this video we are discussing the Cbse class 9 NCERT science textbook chapter 8 motion, that is physics. Okay, so we've already discussed the first few parts under this chapter motion. So now we'll discuss the next part of it. So here in this we are going to learn few numericals. Already in the last video, the previous part, you had learned a numerical, we did a sum. Okay, so here we'll be continuing with that. Before we get into the numericals directly, we'll quickly brush up through the formulae which we have learned till now in this chapter, so that it will be easy for us to solve the numericals. So what is the first formula that we learned? That is, speed is equal to distance by time taken. Speed is equal to distance by time taken, and then what is average speed? Total distance traveled by total time taken. So velocity, instead of distance we have displacement, because velocity is nothing but speed in a particular direction. So when distance, if you are going to consider in one particular direction, then that is going to be displacement. So displacement by time taken. So when you learn about average velocity, we learned it under two categories. One is for uniform, another one is for non-uniform motion. For uniform motion, we know that it is going to be the same throughout. So it is going to be initial velocity plus final velocity by 2. So initial velocity will be taking it as u, final velocity will be taking it as v. So we can also write it as u plus v divided by 2. For non-uniform motion, we know it is something similar to your speed, average speed. So average speed, we calculate the total distance. Here we are finding the displacement divided by the total time taken. So these are the formulae which we will be using in the upcoming numericals. So before we get into the numericals, there is one important part where most of you might make mistakes. That is with respect to the unit conversion. Okay. So unit conversion is something which is very easy and which you will be learning from your lower classes. But still, we find many children making mistakes in these unit conversions. So that's why I wanted to once again remind you regarding this. So when should I look in for the units, Abdina? When you look into the question, the first instance, check if the units are given in meters or kilometers, hours or minutes or seconds, and so on. So you must see to that you have most of the things in meters and seconds, then you are very comfortable to move with. So for the first unit, maybe you will not have any problem even if it is going to be in kilometer per hour. But when you advance up to the next few chapters, it will be easy for you only when it is going to be meters and seconds. Okay. Now let us see the conversion. So it is going to be 1 kilometer, we know it is 1000 meters, and 1 hour is 60 minutes. Whereas 1 minute is going to be what? 60 seconds. So 1 hour in terms of seconds is going to be 60 into 60. So 1 hour is what? 3600 seconds. And we already know 1 kilometer is what? 1000 meter. So what will be 1 kilometer per hour? It will be 1000 divided by 3600. So when you are going to simplify 1000 by 3600, so what will you get? You will cancel these two zeros. You will get 2 5s are 10, 2 18s are 36. So if you're going to have a value like 5 kilometer per hour, if you want to convert in terms of meter per second, you would have to multiply it by 5 by 18. At the same time, if you are going to be given in terms of 5 meter per second, then while converting, you are going to take it to be 5 into 18 by 5 kilometer per hour. This is one thing which you need to remember. So for kilometer per hour to meter per second is 1000 by 3600. At the same time, if it is going to be 1 meter per second in terms of kilometer per hour, it is going to be 3600 by 1000 meter per kilometer per hour. So this can be reduced down to 5 by 18, and this one to 18 divided by 5. Already we saw the first numerical in the previous video. So now looking into the second question, what will be the speed of a body in meter per second and kilometer per hour if it travels 40 kilometers in 5 hours? So the distance travelled is going to be 40 kilometer and the time taken is 5 hours. So if you want to write in terms of kilometer per hour, then very easily you can write it as 40 kilometer divided by 5 hours. So you can very easily do it as 40 by 5 kilometer per hour. So you will go and get it to be 8 kilometer per hour. That is what we have done here in terms of kilometer per hour. In terms of meter per second, I told you we are going to convert it to be into 1000 meters into 60 into 60. Or as I told you from your previous video, we were able to see that we can very easily convert it like 40 by 5. Okay, 40 by 5 you can convert it into, when you have to multiply 1000 by 3600, you can also do it as 5 by 18. Okay, so in this way if you do also, you will get this answer. So that is what I have written here. Change from kilometer per hour to meter per second is in terms of multiplying it by 5 by 18 meter per second. Whenever you approach a question, first try to write the given data to find and what are the formula or the conversion factor which you are going to use, and then the solution. Let's look into this question. An object travels 30 meter in 4 seconds and another 30 meter in 2 seconds. That means it is going to travel only 30 meter. Okay, first it is going to take 4 seconds and another 30 meter it is going to take only 2 seconds. They want us to find out the average speed. And then with this data, can you find out the average velocity? And they are asking us, under what condition is the magnitude of average velocity equal to its average speed? First let us write the given data. We are given 2 distances and 2 time periods, and we will write what we need to find. That is average speed, average velocity, and the conditions for average speed to be equal to average velocity. Okay, so see here, for average speed we know it is total distance by total time, and for average velocity it is going to be total displacement by total time taken. Okay, now to find the total distance we have it to be d1 plus d2 and time period t1 plus t2. So we are given 2 distances and 2 time periods. So when you do the calculation, you are going to get it as 10 meter per second. What is the next question? Look here. Is the data given above sufficient to find the average velocity of the object? The answer is no, because the direction of the motion is also needed, because velocity is dependent on the direction. So they have not given us any detail about the direction, so we cannot come to any conclusion on finding the average velocity, so it is not possible. Now what are the conditions for average speed and average velocity to be equal? Look at this clearly. When an object moves along a straight line in the same direction, okay, it is going to move along the straight line and also in the same direction, then we can say that the total path length, that is the distance, will be equal to the magnitude of the displacement. The total path length is nothing but the distance. So the distance will be equal to the displacement. If distance is equal to the displacement, then we can say average speed is also equal to the average velocity. So thus we can say that its average speed is equal to the magnitude of the average velocity. Now let's look into this question. That is, a 100-meter long train crosses a 300-meter long bridge at a speed of 90 km per hour. How much time will it take to cross the bridge completely? Okay, 100-meter long train. Okay, the train's length is 100 meter and it has to cross 300 meter. That is, the train is going to be here and the bridge is here. The length of the train is going to be 100 meter and the bridge is going to be 300 meter. So how much distance it has to travel? It has to travel first the 300 meter plus it has to travel its own distance, only then it can come out of the bridge. Okay, that means it has to travel 300 meter plus 100 meter, which will be 400 meter. Okay, so all this is fine, but in the beginning of the video I taught you about something called unit conversion. So now is the time for us to check on it. See, here we are given in terms of meter, and here in terms of kilometer per hour. So the units are changing. So we cannot do it directly. If you're going to directly do it with this 400 meter, you may go wrong. So we must change either this meter to kilometer or 90 kilometer per hour to meter per second. So we can do any one method. Okay, here I am going to convert 90 kilometer per hour to meter per second, which you can see here. So how can you convert? Into 1000 by 3600, or as I told you, you can do it by 90 into 5 by 18 also. So then what we will get? 18 into 5 is 90. So we will get 25 meter per second. Have we got the same here? Yes. So thus, as I told you, we can do either in this method or in this method. So now you got the speed as 25 meter per second. You got the distance to be 400 meters. So now it is easy to calculate using the formula speed is equal to distance by time. So you have 400 by 25. When you solve it, you will get it to be 16 seconds. Okay, you will get 5 5s are 25. It will be 5 8s are 40. 0. So it will be 5 1s are 5. And then 5 6 are 30. Okay, so in this way you will get the answer to be 16 seconds. So with this we are completing 4 numericals. We'll learn about the next few concepts in the upcoming videos. In the upcoming parts we'll learn about the next new concept called acceleration and other concepts related to it. So which is also an important concept to understand the motion of an object. So go through the video once again. If you have any doubt in this video, please get back to the previous parts and then try to correlate this part with the previous ones. Okay. Thank you children. See you again in another video.